There are basically two kinds of theories.
Okay.
There's the exploitation theories and the savings theories. And the claim on the left, they're left wing and right wing. The claim on the left is that we're rich because slaves were exploited or because the third world is exploited or the working class is exploited. Anyway, it's exploitation. And indeed, then the point of the argument in Marx is that this exploitation is used to invest. And that's what made us rich. And on the other side, on the right hand, on the right, the explanation is that very savings, except now it's virtuous savings. It's these wise and rich people who save their money and invest, and then we're all made better off. Neither of them makes any sense for two reasons. One is that mutually advantageous exchange in the labor market is not exploitation. Wage slavery is a meaningless phrase. It's a contradiction in terms. That's the economic problem with the theory on the left. The other problem is that exploitation is universal. The old joke is that under capitalism, man exploits man. Under socialism, it's the other way around. So, historically and economically, the left-wing exploitation argument doesn't make any sense. There was as large a slave trade from East Africa up the coast into the slave markets of Cairo, Constantinople, Istanbul, as there was across the Atlantic, and yet the Middle East didn't have an industrial revolution or a great enrichment. On the right, the problem is that without innovation, without innovism, piling brick on brick or bachelor's degree on bachelor's degree doesn't accomplish anything. It has sharply diminishing returns. And then furthermore, people have always invested. Auschulian hand axes, they're somewhat misnamed because they weren't really axes, but they were sharpened on one side, dull on the other, so you could hold them and throw them or cut things with them. Those were used by humans, Homo sapiens and before, for almost 1.5 million years. And you find them in archaeological sites in very large numbers. So people were accumulating, making these so-called axes in large numbers, even before we were Homo sapiens, which is the modern human race. So accumulation doesn't work, either economically or historically. So something else changed, and what changed was ideology, liberalism, the attitude towards the middle class, towards the bourgeoisie, towards innovators and investors.
The asset game, it's your move. It's not how many assets you have, it's what they are, how you use them.
What you do with them.
And,
exactly.
And da-da-da. And like her dad, I famously heard, in my mind, when I was in MBA school, an organizational behavior professor said, there's a man who's one of our key alumni that says what capitalism is serving human needs.
Yeah, well, that's right, and that's
giving them the stuff, as you say. You know,
well, that's terribly important for people to understand. People are always saying to people in the military when they see them in the airport, "Thank you for your service." And I'm not against that. I think it's nice to be a soldier, although I don't care much for American foreign policy. But anyway, being a soldier is honorable, and I'm not against it. But people in business serve. People who work serve. People who teach or heal serve. We're all serving each other. That's what specialization and trade is all about. Service.
Service.